Ladies and gentlemen, success is a beautiful thing. We all crave the moment when our efforts pay off, when we see the results of our hard work come to fruition. But here's a truth that often gets overlooked: you must never celebrate too early. You see, life doesn't hand out rewards until the final whistle blows. The problem with celebrating early is that it gives us the illusion that the game is over when, in reality, there's still plenty of work left to do. You've got to stay the course, keep your focus, and maintain your momentum until the very end. One of the dangers of celebrating prematurely is overconfidence. Now, there's nothing wrong with confidence. In fact, it's crucial for success, but overconfidence? That's when you start to believe the job is done before it actually is. This mindset can make you blind to the remaining steps needed to secure your success. In your journey, unexpected obstacles will pop up. Just because you're ahead today doesn't mean tomorrow won't bring new challenges. And if you've already started celebrating, you might not be prepared for what comes next. Staying humble, staying grounded, that's what keeps you in the game long enough to cross the real finish line. Let's talk about humility. The more we humble ourselves and stay patient, the better we are at handling success when it truly arrives. You see, there's power in finishing strong. It's easy to start strong when the excitement is high. But it's those who endure and stay the course until the very end who reap the real rewards. So as you move through your journey, whatever your goals may be, remember, don't break out the champagne just yet. Keep pushing, keep striving. And when you finally reach that finish line, your celebration will be well earned and your success will be lasting. When we talk about success, we often think about that moment of victory when everything aligns and we achieve the goal we set out for. But one critical factor that we tend to overlook is patience. It's not glamorous, and it certainly doesn't come with immediate gratification. Yet patience is the quiet force that sustains every meaningful journey. You see, success is not an event, it's a process, and processes take time. This is why it's essential not to celebrate too early. You may have heard stories of people who believed they had made it only to find out they were celebrating far too soon. Maybe they reached an important milestone, got that initial boost of recognition, or closed a big deal. They felt on top of the world, and so, in that rush of excitement, they loosened their grip on what got them there in the first place: focus, discipline, and patience. The result? Their success was short-lived because they stopped pushing forward before the journey was truly complete. Patience, however, tells you that success is about more than just the initial breakthrough. It's about sustaining that breakthrough, nurturing it, and allowing it to grow into something far bigger. Think of it like planting a seed. You don't celebrate the day you plant the seed, do you? You don't throw a party because you've dug the hole and put the seed in the ground. No, you wait, you water it, you protect it from the elements, and you give it time to grow roots. Only when the tree is fully grown and bears fruit do you reap the benefits of your efforts. If you celebrate early before the tree has fully matured, you may never see its full potential. That's what patience is about: giving your effort time to bear real, lasting fruit. Too often, we want the results immediately. We want the reward without the wait. But success is more than just the appearance of progress. It's the sustained, consistent growth that happens over time. The moment you stop being patient is the moment you risk losing everything you've worked for. Another key aspect of patience is its relationship to perseverance. You see, when you're patient, you're also willing to keep going when the going gets tough. Patience allows you to endure the setbacks, the obstacles, and the moments of doubt. Those who celebrate early often stop at the first sign of success, believing the hard part is over. But true success isn't just about getting to a good point. It's about being able to maintain that progress and push through the inevitable challenges that will arise. It's easy to stay motivated when things are going well, but patience keeps you steady when the road gets rocky. I've seen many people get discouraged because they feel like they're working hard but aren't seeing immediate results. But the truth is, in many cases, the results are happening, they're just happening beneath the surface. Like the roots of that tree I mentioned earlier, real growth happens out of sight, under the soil where you can't see it. But just because you don't see immediate results doesn't mean nothing is happening. Patience teaches us to trust the process, to know that as long as we're doing the right things consistently, The results will eventually come. Another critical lesson that patience teaches is the value of consistency. Success doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen with sporadic efforts. It's the product of small, consistent actions taken over time. And patience is what allows you to stay consistent. It's easy to take shortcuts or to get discouraged when the results aren't immediate. But patience gives you the strength to keep going, to continue putting in the work, even when it feels like progress is slow. Finally, patience helps you maintain the right mindset. It prevents you from getting too high with your successes or too low with your failures. Celebrating early can sometimes cloud your judgment, making you believe the journey is complete when it's not. But with patience, you stay focused on the bigger picture. You understand that the goal is long-term success, not just short-term gains. You become more disciplined, more focused, and ultimately more successful. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, success is a process, not an event. It requires patience, perseverance, and a commitment to the long game. Never rush to celebrate too early. Instead, stay patient, stay the course, and let your hard work fully blossom before you claim victory. There's a fine line between confidence and overconfidence, and it's a line that can determine the difference between lasting success and sudden failure. Confidence is essential. It's what drives us to take action, to believe that our goals are within reach, and to push forward even when the odds seem stacked against us. But overconfidence, that's a different story. Overconfidence creeps in when we start believing that the job is done before it actually is. And that's a dangerous place to be, especially when you haven't crossed the finish line yet. Imagine you're running a race, you've trained hard, put in the work, and now you're in the lead. The crowd is cheering, and it seems like victory is yours. You start to relax, maybe even slow down, because in your mind you've already won. But here's the thing, the race isn't over. And while you're basking in that premature sense of accomplishment, someone who stayed focused, who didn't get caught up in the excitement, pushes forward and passes you. Before you know it, you've lost the race you thought you had in the bag. That's the essence of overconfidence. It tricks you into thinking the hard work is behind you, when in fact the most important work still lies ahead. And it's not just in sports or physical competition where this happens. It happens in business, in relationships, in any area of life where success requires sustained effort over time. You see, overconfidence can blind you to the challenges that are still ahead. When you think you've already won, you stop paying attention to the details that got you to that point in the first place. You stop preparing for the unexpected. But life has a way of throwing curveballs just when you think you're safe. Maybe a competitor launches a new product, or an unforeseen challenge emerges in your personal life. If you're caught off guard, you won't be ready to respond because your early celebration has already shifted your focus away from the task at hand. Overconfidence can also lead to complacency. When you start to believe that success is guaranteed, you stop pushing yourself to improve. You stop striving for excellence because you think you've already reached it. But the truth is, success is never guaranteed, and there's always room for improvement. The moment you stop growing, the moment you stop striving to be better than you were yesterday, that's when you start to slip. And once you slip, it's a long road back to the top. This is why it's so important to stay grounded, no matter how far ahead you think you are. The journey to success is never linear, and it's rarely as predictable as we'd like it to be. Just because things are going well today doesn't mean they will continue to go well tomorrow. Circumstances change, markets shift, and new challenges arise. Overconfidence makes you vulnerable to these shifts because it lulls you into a false sense of security. And when that happens, you stop being proactive and start reacting instead. One of the biggest risks of celebrating too early is that it causes you to lose focus. You get distracted by the celebration, by the simulation, by the recognition, and by the feeling of having made it, but focus is everything when it comes to achieving long-term success. If you lose focus even for a moment, you open yourself up to mistakes, oversights, and missed opportunities. Staying focused means keeping your eye on the prize, not the distractions along the way. In addition, overconfidence can damage relationships. When you believe that your success is guaranteed, you might start taking the people around you for granted. You might stop listening to advice, believing that you already know everything you need to know. But no one achieves success alone. The people who support you, who offer guidance, and who challenge you to be better, they are crucial to your journey. Overconfidence can blind you to their value, and before you know it, you've alienated the very people who were instrumental in helping you get where you are. Staying humble is the antidote to overconfidence. Humility doesn't mean doubting yourself or your abilities. It means recognizing that there's always more to learn, more to do, and more room to grow. It means understanding that success is not a final destination, but a continuous journey. And most importantly, it means keeping your feet on the ground, no matter how high you rise. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you work toward your goals, keep your confidence high, but your overconfidence in check. Don't be fooled by the early signs of success. The journey isn't over until it's over. Stay humble, stay focused, and most of all, stay committed to seeing things through to the very end. Because that's where true success lies, not in the early celebration, but in the final well-earned victory. One of the most important lessons in life is learning how to maintain focus until the very end. Success is not about how well you start, it's about how you finish. In many cases, people get excited at the beginning of their journey, full of energy, motivation, and optimism. But as the road stretches on, that initial enthusiasm often fades. The distractions set in, challenges arise, and somewhere along the way, the focus that once burned so brightly starts to dim. This is why staying focused until the very end is crucial, because the final result is what truly matters, not just the appearance of progress along the way. You see, the early stages of any endeavor often bring with them a surge of excitement. Whether you're starting a business, pursuing a career, or working toward a personal goal, the beginning is filled with possibilities. You're energized, you're driven, and it feels like success is within reach. But what many people fail to realize is that this initial burst of energy is just the beginning. The true test of your commitment comes later, when the excitement fades and the real work begins. It's easy to stay focused when everything is going well, but life rarely plays out that way. There will be moments when the path forward seems unclear, when progress seems slow, and when the obstacles seem insurmountable. In those moments, it's tempting to lose focus, to get distracted by other things, or worse, to give up altogether. But those who achieve lasting success are the ones who can push through these moments and keep their focus on the bigger picture. Staying focused until the end requires discipline. It's about showing up every day and doing the work, even when you don't feel like it. It's about avoiding distractions, even when they seem tempting. And it's about maintaining that same level of effort and dedication, not just when things are going well, but especially when they're not. The people who succeed in the long run are the ones who understand that progress is not always visible, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. Think of it like running a marathon. Anyone can sprint at the beginning of the race when they're full of energy and the finish line seems far away. But as the miles add up, fatigue sets in, and it's easy to lose focus. The key to finishing the race isn't how fast you run the first mile, it's about pacing yourself, staying consistent, and staying focused all the way through to the last mile. That's where the true challenge lies, and that's where the true rewards are found. Now, distractions are everywhere. In today's world, it's easy to get caught up in the noise, whether it's social media, news, or other people's opinions. But distractions don't just come from outside sources, they also come from within. Self-doubt, impatience, and the desire for immediate results can all pull you off course. When you start focusing on how far you still have to go instead of how far you've already come, it's easy to lose motivation. That's why it's essential to remind yourself constantly of why you started in the first place. Keep your eyes on the prize, and don't let the distractions of the moment pull you away from your long-term vision. Staying focused until the end also means being adaptable. Life is unpredictable, and no matter how well you plan, there will be obstacles that you didn't foresee. But instead of allowing those obstacles to derail you, use them as opportunities to learn and grow. Sometimes the path to success isn't a straight line, it twists and turns, and you may have to adjust your approach along the way. But no matter what challenges you face, the key is to stay focused on the end goal. Adjust your strategy if necessary, but never lose sight of where you're headed. Another key to maintaining focus is understanding that the final steps are often the most critical. There's a reason why so many people say, it's not over until it's over. Even if you're ahead in the game, even if you're close to achieving your goal, you can't afford to relax until you've crossed the finish line. The last part of any journey is often the hardest because it requires you to push through fatigue out and the temptation to quit. But those who stay focused until the very end are the ones who come out on top. They understand that the final push is what separates success from failure. In closing, ladies and gentlemen, the ability to stay focused until the end is what distinguishes the truly successful from those who merely start with good intentions. It's easy to get excited in the beginning, but the real challenge and the real reward comes from staying focused, disciplined, and determined until the journey is complete. The path to success is rarely easy, but if you keep your eyes on the prize and push through until the very end, you'll find that the rewards are well worth the effort. In the journey towards success, it's not the early milestones or the first signs of progress that define the outcome, it's the ability to stay focused, disciplined, and patient until the very end. Overconfidence and early celebrations can blind us to the remaining work and the challenges that still lie ahead. But those who maintain their focus, who understand that success is a long-term commitment, are the ones who ultimately reach their goals. The key is in the endurance, in having the patience to let your efforts come to full fruition, and the humility to keep pushing forward. Avoid the temptation to celebrate prematurely or to rest on your laurels. Keep your eyes on the bigger picture, stay grounded, and finish strong. Success, after all, is not in the early celebration, but in the sustained effort that takes you all the way to the finish line.